Hi folks, William Stillman, Psychic Medium. We're back in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Today is Monday, June 12th, 2023. I am joined once again by Jaffa Kaufman of Spirited Events by Jaffa.com. As always and as before, I have no idea where we'll be going today or what we'll be doing, but I know that Jaffa has some tricks up her sleeve and that she has scouted out 3 locations for us. And it'll be interesting to see what we get from today. So, once again, thank you.
My pleasure. I'm excited, as always,
I'm
to
excited
show you.
too. We'll see what we get. I like this room very much. It's actually, the whole place feels very hospitable to me. Let me know when we're ready to. Jeremy, you can come over here if you wish. We're ready? Okay. Well, thank you for having us
Absolutely.
here today, Jeremy. Very much appreciate it. This is the Cashtown Inn?
The Cashtown Inn, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Well, it's interesting because when I was standing in the other room waiting for everybody to sort of get situated and gather here, I was hearing like fiddle music, and I was thinking, well, my goodness, back in the era in which this would have been built and in operation, people would have had to create their own entertainment, to amuse themselves. And so I was wondering if, you may not know this, but if people would gather in here, this feels like a parlor area to me, or on the porch and be doing things that were musical to sing together or to just provide some amusement and entertainment.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I do.
You've heard stories or you've seen information about that or so on?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, terrific. Is there, to your knowledge, anyone with the name Robert or Roberts associated with this location? You gasped.
Yes.
You gasped.
Yeah.
What am I picking up on?
Yeah.
You want a name?
I just want to know if you can validate
Yes.
that. And it feels as though the name is significant.
Yeah.
Of some significance to. So I don't know if it was a former owner or a former tenant or what the connection is.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to verify this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Robert, is it Roberts or Robert?
Robert.
Robert was a former owner?
No.
No. What's his? You can tell me.
He
What
would
is
have
his?
just been here.
He would have been here, but
General.
thank you. Okay,
Leader of the...
that's all I need to know.
Sorry, I don't know how much to give you now.
No, you're doing great. Are you getting us all in the same frame?
I'm in it.
Okay. Okay, great. So that's the name I was picking up, and he would have been of some prominence during the period of time of the Civil War. Correct?
Right.
Okay. Alrighty. I'm also. Who's Dorothy? Or is there a female with a prominent D name? Also, Dorothy, Dorothea. Is that ringing any bells?
Not with me, it doesn't.
I don't think that she was connected to this location so much as she may have been local to this location. So I don't know. I'm smelling manure again. I'm assuming there were farms nearby.
Could be me.
Very close by. You didn't have your shower this morning?
Yeah, there is farms.
Farms nearby, but there would have been at that time. So everything I'm referencing is in that era. Okay, so correct, there would have been farms
Yes.
nearby. So I'm wondering if the what I'm picking up as the Dorothy or the Dorothea would have been connected to one of the farms. I'm also hearing artillery fire, and I'm guessing cannon fire. Would that have been audible from this location?
You could have heard it from here, correct?
It almost, what's interesting is it echoes. There's like an echo to it, which is curious. I don't know if we're in a space where it would be like reverberating off of hills or anything like that.
Sure would have been. Yeah, would have definitely been.
And crazy question. I was just shown the word murder. Now, I don't know if that's to be interpreted literally or if that means that someone was if someone else was responsible for taking someone else's life, maybe even accidentally.
Yeah, I can validate that.
That happened here on this property.
Mhm.
So you could see how I don't believe it was a murder so much as there was malicious intent to it, but I think that it was someone else was the cause of someone else dying. Does that make sense to you? Okay. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Okay. So that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Both of us.
All right.
Yep.
I also feel as though there was a young child that passed on location here, connected to one of the families that may have owned this place.
I don't know about passing on the premises.
A young
I'm not sure.
young male.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Are you aware?
I'm not 100% sure about that.
Are you aware of the young male
Yes.
that passed connected to this
Yeah.
place? Would he have been about 11, 12? I'm being shown the number 12, that's why I'm asking. Is that a possibility?
He was younger, yes.
11,
yeah.
12, 13, somewhere in that range,
younger,
possibly?
yes.
Okay,
Possibly.
thank you. So, you've had paranormal groups come in through here?
Correct.
Is that correct? Because I'm feeling as though, it's not something that I do or know how to do, but I'm feeling as though this place has been a hotspot of activity.
Sure.
Yes, and so, like Jeremy is very guarded, which I appreciate. I like that. But I am being. Oh, was there actually a television program that filmed a segment here? Okay, because I am being shown camera crew coming in, and I don't know if everybody watching knows what an EVP is, an electronic voice phenomena, but I'm being told that that has been picked up here. You're aware of that?
Yeah.
Okay. In the form of a female whisper. Do you know anything about that? I'm hearing it. I'm hearing her whispering. Jaffa's nodding. Do you know? You're aware of that?
We've had
That's happened here, where there's a female voice that's a whisper. It feels, to me, it feels benign. Yes, the female voice neutral. It's not anything either way.
Yeah.
But I'm being told that this place is a hot spot, and that there have been spheres of energy or orbs, multiple orbs that have manifested simultaneously,
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
and that once the sun goes down, then it's a free-for-all.
You could probably say that too. According to, according to others.
You're not a believer.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh.
I didn't say that. I don't think you could own this place and not believe in something.
Yeah. Well, I am hearing floorboards creaking, as though someone's walking. Someone's actually pacing. Either I feel, and I don't know. There's a cellar here, correct?
Correct.
So I almost feel as though I'm hearing floorboards creaking above me. So I don't know if I'm in the cellar, I don't know if I'm on this floor, and I don't know if you can verify that, but I'm hearing someone, it sounds like they're pacing, and someone's mourning a loss. So I don't know if there was a woman connected to this building that would have been widowed, or would have lost a son or sons. Now that may be the 12-year-old, or it may have been someone who perished in the war, I want to say skirmish, in the war. Do you know anything about that? So
Yeah,
there was one woman in particular
Yes.
who would have been impacted by that. There was an entire clan or entire family that lived here at
There
one
was,
time.
yeah.
Because I'm being shown a grandfather who would have been too old to have participated in the war itself, or in the skirmish itself, I think. And then there's a number of children. Do you know anything about the young, I don't want to call her a girl, maybe young lady? She might actually have been sitting in this room looking out the window. She's sewing a sampler. Do you have anything like that here? Do you know what a sampler
Not
is?
that I know of.
You fellows know what a sampler
No.
is? So a sampler would be young girls, young ladies would practice their sewing by sewing the alphabet, sewing the Lord's Prayer, numbers, a little poem, but it would be, you don't have anything like that here that you're aware of?
Not that I have here that would have been a sampler from that time period, no.
Connected to this?
Not connected to
Okay.
this, no.
Can you verify that there would have been a older girl, young lady who would have been here at the time who may have been doing that?
It's very possible, but not that I can verify.
They feel as it's also to help to pass the time. So I feel as though this would have been during the time of the event or the upheaval, and there's a lot of anxiety. So as her, I'm feeling like I'm sitting here, I'm wondering if she had a family member that was participating in the battle. Because I feel as her, I feel like I'm constantly looking out the window to see if someone is coming up to the house with news or information. So for what it's worth, I'll put that out there, and maybe you can do a little
It's
looking into
definitely,
that.
there's so much that's history here that it's crazy. It's hard to say.
Did someone hang themselves on the property, to your knowledge?
No, not to my knowledge.
Is there a bridge nearby here? I'm being shown
A few miles.
I'm being shown a noose.
Yeah, it could have been a few miles.
And so I don't know if there would have been a lynching. I don't know what that's about.
I know what that's about, but
Can you
I
say-
don't know any connection to the inn in that, to be totally honest with you.
What I'm wondering then is if anyone connected to the inn would have been involved. Was it a lynching?
More or less, I guess you could say.
Okay, 'cause I'm being shown-
I don't,
There's written documentation about it.
I don't know either that there is.
Okay, I'm being shown a noose. So if it's not on the property, I feel as though it's nearby. And it was also, this sounds very callous, but it was done to send a message. I don't know if that makes any sense. It was like a warning.
I can tell you the ongoing rumor about a lynching.
Yes.
Okay, so there's Sachs Bridge.
Yes.
The folklore, the tale is that there were 3 soldiers that were Union, but were hiding within the Confederate Army. They discovered them as spies and supposedly hung them on the bridge as a warning to other spies.
Exactly.
But I don't know of any documentation per se.
either.
Is that, I've been at Sachs Bridge, is that near to where we are here? Or is it possible that someone, like the man of the house, would have been in some way involved or connected to that?
Not that I know of, and that bridge is 8 miles from here roughly, so.
That's maybe a little too far then.
Yeah.
So what I'm wondering is if, now I'm starting to warm up, I'm wondering if there is some other incident then connected to
No, I don't know.
this space that would be more local. The other thing that it's interesting because now I'm picking up on some unpleasant things. The other thing that I was picking up on is someone tumbling downstairs. So I don't know if there was a particular event that occurred where someone fell and was killed or seriously injured.
Possibly.
Are you aware of that? Was it the stairs right here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I'm hearing it. I feels like a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. You're being very tight-lipped, which is good. I appreciate it. But you're not giving me a whole lot to work with, Jeremy.
No, we're not. You're gonna earn your keep on this one.
Yeah. So I'm actually seeing her tumbling, and there, I feel like I feel like I hit my head.
Possibly.
So
I can't tell you a lot of details.
Oh, okay, thank you. But I feel like maybe there's a mild concussion there or something. Yeah. Okay. I felt this other places. So there are guest rooms upstairs, correct? So I'm picking up on a couple of things that I'm wondering if you have had people report or complain about being in bed and feeling the bed depress as if someone's sitting on it, correct? And then also catching a glimpse of something or someone behind them in a mirror, looking in a mirror, and then, oh my gosh, and then turning, and of course there's no one there.
Yeah.
There actually have been sightings of full-blown apparitions here, though. Correct? Like
Correct.
Head to toe apparitions.
Right.
Yeah. Now, I will stand by what I've said earlier at our last stop, is I don't believe that those are ghosts, meaning an earthbound soul of someone who had been human, who took their last breath and has passed on. But I believe that those are probably imprints of energy that has been made here that occasionally, and depending upon the receptive nature of the person witnessing it, gets kind of released into the atmosphere. I don't think that there are human souls that are still lingering here. That's my opinion. Well, I'm feeling pulled upstairs. If would be able to go upstairs?
We go second floor, sure.
Great. Okay. Please lead us.
Yeah, absolutely. This was an access over to the innkeeper's quarters at one time. Still in here. That's had multiple accesses over there.
Have you had any unusual reports about this room?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I needed to know.
Yeah,
That's why I'm being pulled here.
Yeah.
Okay, may we go in?
Sure, go right ahead. That's all right.
You go ahead.
No, you're fine. That's you guys got this.
Let us know when you're ready. I want to ask about the name Catherine also, and if that rings a bell to you.
Off the top of my head, it does not.
Okay.
Not to me.
All right. So I'm feeling a feminine energy in this room. It feels benign and just kind of observing. Because I'm actually sort of, as her, I'm standing there just kind of watching. And it feels maternal, it feels kind of protective.
Yeah.
And who would be called captain?
Could have been various.
Yeah.
I feel like it's someone who has a male who has a strong connection to this property, this location. People would have referred to him as captain.
There was multiple captains here.
Is there a James?
Possibly.
Yeah,
If you want me to say
Who
somebody.
would have been Captain James?
Could have been, not captain.
Yeah, I don't.
Or he
I
would
don't
have,
know.
let me put it this way. He would have been distinguished by a title.
Yeah, I mean, I
That's the James?
probably could. Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like he expected people to refer to him by that title.
Very well possible.
And also, I want to ask about the judge.
The judge?
Mhm.
I'm not aware of that, but
Neither am I.
Okay.
huh,
There was a wedding on this property also. I feel like there was a wedding reception that was being held here.
There was multiple.
Well, you might be thinking in later years, but I'm thinking like in that era, the late 1800s era. So a family member would have been married in the house.
Very possible. One that I can think of that I can't say for certain. I don't know that I've ever read that, but it would make sense.
And I also need to ask about a stable or a barn that would have been out back or on the property.
On the property,
On the
yeah.
property, okay. Because I'm seeing stalls for horses.
That's correct.
Yes. Now, I want to ask if you have had people complain about problems with electricity, lights flickering, lights being, people awakening in the middle of the night and there are lights that are turned on, for example, that they knew they turned off, things of that nature.
I think I've probably had more experiences with that than my guests. I have heard once or twice from guests, but myself have probably witnessed more of that than, and if they could have, it may
That's
not have
right.
been relayed to me, but
Yeah. And not to alarm or upset anyone, but I also am picking up on a very heavy, very dark, malevolent energy. Something that would be very ill-intended. It's showing itself to me in the shape of a black shadow that looks like it's sort of
could be Bruce.
a cloak.
No, I'm just
Yeah, no, I don't know Bruce well, but from what I've understood, I don't
No,
think it's him.
Yeah.
So
No, we've never.
Jaffa wants to chime in about
Go ahead,
that. So
Jaffa.
Jaffa, do you want to come around or?
Yeah, I don't want to get caught. No, I have two,
I feel as though it's
People
been.
that I know.
I feel like it's been photographed actually.
I don't know about the photograph, but I've had two people that I know that have slept in here that have woken in the middle of the night to a black entity
Thank you.
coming
There's my verification.
through the
Thank
door.
you.
Yeah, over through the door.
Yeah. It's maybe about my height, and it. Again, I don't mean to alarm anybody, but it's just evil. There's a malevolence connected to it, and it's just in a black shroud. I don't know what it's doing here. I don't know how it's connected, if at all. I don't know if it just is passing through from time to time, or if it actually has residence here in some regard. But I don't like it. I don't think it wants me to be here in this room,
The two that stayed here said the same thing, very heavy.
and it doesn't want them here.
Yeah, it didn't feel,
Yeah, like I'm not
Right.
welcome in
See,
this.
and I'm wondering if it's just not like a passing through thing, because we get so many people to stay that absolutely love this room.
It's so
I had no
interesting.
issues in it when I
Yeah,
stayed.
and that's what.
Yeah, that's so curious.
Yeah, it is.
The other thing that's a possibility, Jeremy, is you said that there have been, film crews that have come in through here and TV episodes that were filmed and so on. I am meticulous about ensuring that we are spiritually protected. When we all pulled up together this morning, I said the Lord's Prayer with everyone. I cast a veil of protection over everyone. I asked that all of our work today be for the greater good of the highest order. I don't believe that some of these ghost hunter types are even conscious and aware of the importance of grounding themselves and protecting themselves in that way. And so I'm wondering sometimes if some of those people trigger things or even bring things in with them.
Right,
Yeah.
it's possible.
I had this conversation with another fella at one of the other locations that we went to, and as it turned out, he was struggling with addiction and some other personal and emotional issues, and so there was a lot going on that was sort of attracted to him because of what was the issues that he was struggling with. So just food for thought. And
Yeah.
I'm glad to know that no one else has said anything about this. I want to call him the Shrouded Man. But it's not a nice, pleasant energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, well, I think we can leave this room then. I feel like I'm getting a kick in the rear end to get out. So, Tim, let us know what we need from here.
You just go ahead and we'll follow after.
I'll have to read through your
After you.
books sometimes, see if anyone else ever talked about the
Yeah,
black.
we don't hear that very often, so.
I feel
Yeah.
like, I almost
I
feel
shouldn't
like,
say very often, I don't even know I don't even know when. I do remember vaguely somebody saying one time, but there again, when people come to this place in search of paranormal, what do they read online before they get here? Do they even have themselves basically psyched out or believing in something before they ever get here? And the minute they step in the room, they're just, you know.
And it's the old, not everything is something
Correct.
philosophy.
Yeah.
I do want to ask a question, Jeremy.
Yes?
Where I'm standing now, if you drew a line from me straight down, would it take me to the cellar?
Yeah,
It's right underneath me.
yeah.
That's where he hibernates. Because it's really dark.
We'll have to go down there and straighten that out here.
Yeah.
And it might be triggered by certain personalities.
Could be.
Interesting thing is, the two that I know that saw it are father and son at two different times.
That's so curious.
Yeah, it's very well.
I'll tell you who it is
That's-
later.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, we're so.
All right,
Okay.
we're learning some things now.
Oh, I've been here,
Have you?
up there.
So the doors that are closed, are those off limits for today?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
those
fine.
Would be.
That's fine.
And that one's not been
Oh,
cleaned.
I did want clarification. When we were downstairs, I was asking about what, I think the word murder was being used in a sort of generic sense. Can you tell me about that? Where someone was responsible or contributed to, it might have been accidental, someone else's passing.
Can I tell you after we're finished?
Sure.
Because it relates to something else that I think you might, and I don't want to.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's perfectly
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
So this would be room 2 here. If you want to take a look at it, you're welcome.
I'm not being pulled into this room for any reason. It's very odd. You know, what's really strange is that there's a brick wall that's being thrown up in front of me. Like, I'm not supposed to go in there.
So then you go.
How do I get through the wall? I feel like I'm not supposed to go in there.
Wow.
It's very odd. It's like someone's throwing up a wall in front of me. It's like, nope. No admittance.
Don't know.
I'm being pulled to the basement. I don't know why.
We can take a walk down there.
And so any ideas why I am feeling disallowed to go in that room? Did someone die in that room that you know of? Did something tragic happen in that room?
Not that I know of.
I've always had a pleasant stay
You
in
had a
that
pleasant
room.
experience there?
Probably one of my favorite.
It is one of the most warming rooms we have.
That's so strange.
It
Right.
is.
It just doesn't want any parts of you today. I
Has
don't
no
know.
stories.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, no
And I don't-
stories
no
to
interesting
tell
stories.
there or something.
I can't tell you a story about it, being you're not pulled to that room. That is the one room. One of the things that I've witnessed here that is it's like a what you call a pure sign, I guess you could say. I walked into that room one day. Nobody had been in there for a few days. And we had guests checking in. We always go in and check the rooms. I walk in and I was instantly hit with this perfume.
Roses. I'm
Yep.
smelling roses.
Like, I mean, very potent, like old school perfume. I walked over, I turned the air conditioning unit on so it would cool the room down. When I came back, nothing. It was totally gone. We've had that a few times.
That's exactly what happened to me
Yeah.
in '08 when I was here for the first time.
okay.
And my ex was doing her homework. She went back to college. I was sitting on the bed looking at a magazine, and I could smell a scent of sweet, I call it sweet perfume, walk around the bed. and then stopped right where I was reading, and I said to her, and I'm going, Ellen, do you smell that? No, smell what? I said, that's perfume.
Yeah.
And it's perfume that it's not a modern day perfume.
It's not.
And it's totally of that era, I
Yeah,
think,
it is.
and I'm getting really cold right now.
Yeah. No, I was smelling what smelled to me like roses.
Yeah.
But I am not allowed to go in there. I don't know why. And I don't know if it has anything to do with having been in that room where I was picking up the very negative energy, and maybe I don't want to migrate anything that way, but I am being pulled to the basement if we're
Yeah, sure.
Wow,
Absolutely.
interesting. 3 of us. When did that happen?
That very rarely happens.
And that's sad, because that is a lovely room.
It's too bad.
It happened live.
That very rarely happens.
It's happened to me.
I have to say, and this is not a reflection on anyone or anything, I feel like I'm not wanted here. I feel like I am not supposed to be here. I feel like I am unwelcome, and this is certainly not anything that you're projecting, Jeremy, but I feel as though I'm being shown the word secrets, that there are things that I am not supposed to know about. There are things that I am not supposed to be privy to or to reveal. I would be willing to bet that when you have had paranormal investigators come here, that this has been a hot spot down here.
They like it to be a hot spot, but believe it or not, it really, I think it's disappointing. Not disappointing, I don't want to say disappointing. They do get stuff down here.
Have there been
But-
EVPs that have been picked
Sure,
up down here?
sure.
Jaffa's saying yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Now,
not as much as.
now let
other
me ask
places.
this question. The EVPs that have been picked up down here, have they been more threatening sounding, or more, have they had more of a despair to what it is that they're saying?
Yeah, they're not threatening. Not,
And can the
Yeah,
ones
please.
that we have had
Yes.
actually have been more, like, I'm trying to think of the word to use without giving anything away. So I'm just going to say, there's been a child, there's been some older,
yeah.
very calm, very nice. Yeah, nothing menacing.
It's very interesting that I'm picking up the polar opposite of that. And I feel like there's something, like I have to keep turning around to watch my back. I feel like there's something very heavy behind me.
Well, you said it might be coming, the thing up there might be coming from down here.
I don't know if where I'm standing would be, directly.
I can tell you where.
Yeah.
it would be.
Am I directly in line with that bedroom?
Almost, just probably.
Just a
more
few
of that
feet to my
direction.
right?
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me. I hear what you're saying about everyone saying, oh, this, happy, everybody's great, it's all neutral. I'm not feeling that at all. And I'm feeling, I feel threatened, to be honest with you. I'm not sure that everything that people are hearing as children are really children. I'm not saying this to in any way be disrespectful of
You're not,
your
you're
courtesy
fine.
in
You're
having
fine.
us here, but to me it doesn't feel good,
Yeah.
and I feel like I have to keep watching my back because there's something that there's a heaviness behind me. Yeah, I don't know, Bruce, what you think of that, or if that would make any sense.
I know what happened down here, and you should feel heavy. You should feel like you better be looking around your back, because in this area.
Yes, back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Pretty
There
much
was
everywhere.
the surgeries were all done in
Oh
here.
my lord.
And, well, I hope we can walk down that way. It's
I don't know if I want to.
because, well, you tell me, I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah.
But, oh yeah, I mean, when I was down here once with that group,
Yeah.
they the who was down here, not us as human, but who was down here, you'll have to maybe talk to me a little later, but they knew who I was. I was here before.
They knew who.
I knew who I was.
the other week, because they came through loud and clear and they said, "Is there anybody?" And I'll just throw this out. That EVP or whatever, they made the comment, "Is there anybody down here with us?" And that thing was fairly quiet. It wasn't one that's just constantly ripping through radio stations. Like, it was quiet unless there was something. And plain as day, they said, "Is there anybody down here with us?" Plain as day, it said, "Jeremy." I was sitting on the steps. They did get other things throughout there, not a lot, but they got other things while they were down here. When we went upstairs, I was locking the door, they were walking through the tavern, and the lady said, "Did anybody follow us up the steps?" And it came through and it said, "Jeremy did." And I did, I followed him up. It was, to me, it was neat, you know, it was neat that, it was, yeah.
I'm being told, don't trust it. Don't trust it. So I don't know, again, to me, my opinion is it's sort of all emotional imprints that have been made here. That's why I was asking about the voices of despair or the voices that sounded threatening in some way. But it feels very heavy. Again, I'll stand by what I said when I was upstairs, that the shrouded man, the malevolent energy, I feel corresponds with this area of the basement. And I don't think that I would want to be down here by myself for any great length of time. I think it would be very uncomfortable. Yeah. So, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
If you are not going to go in that area, can I just add
You don't
something?
want
Well, I'll take a look, but
Okay, good, yeah.
I'll
Thank
maybe
you.
poke my head. I'll let Tim go ahead first. I feel like there's a wall being thrown up in front of me again. Again, remember I said I came down here and it's almost like, well, we don't want our secrets revealed. One uncovering too much. And that's what it feels like to me. I'm hearing like wailing or moaning. I don't know if that would make any sense. It does? Again, just a feeling of, and I'm sorry, Jeremy, to have to say it, but I gotta say what I feel and see. A feeling of despair, of hopelessness. There's death that happened here. It's just awful. Just awful. I'm sorry to say, this is no place for women or children, I'm being told to say also. Corporal? Was there someone with the rank of corporal, to your knowledge?
That very well could have been.
Corporal, would he have been among the injured or the dead or dying? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, a possibility, for sure.
I want to ask about the name Grant. Not Ulysses S. Grant, but is there another Grant?
I'm not sure.
There's a William or Williams. There were, oh goodness, this is awful. Was there an area of the basement where any amputated limbs were placed temporarily until they could be properly disposed of?
Not inside, but yes, just yes.
Inside?
I'll tell you yes.
Okay. Is it in this space?
No.
You're positive of that?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Don't question my authority.
I'm just kidding. I'm questioning your story.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. There's been a lot of misconception that there was, but it really was not right here.
But there were amputated limbs
There was.
in the basement.
Right. Could there have been some back here? There very well could have been.
Right. So what I said was
Yeah.
temporarily
Yeah,
placed
they're very
until
well
they
could have
could
been.
be properly disposed
Right.
of. It is horrific, and it is not something that any human being should have to bear witness to. Mercifully for me, I'm being shown in very quick flashes, so it's not lingering. But it's horrific, and blood has a coppery smell. I'm smelling it. I'm smelling it. It's awful. Now, crazy question. Is there a reason why someone would have something burning down here? What would that be?
This is where all the cooking was done.
Down here? Okay. Well, that seems like an oxymoron to have food being prepared down here so close to, I mean, that could be a cross-contamination, I would think. Oh, I did want to ask you, I meant to ask if there were pigs on the property at one time, to your knowledge, because I was being shown this is unpleasant, I was being shown a pig's throat being slit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was smelling them, and that's when Tim said it's me, but I don't think it's Tim. All right. Oddly enough, this space doesn't feel anywhere near as heavy as where I was.
Yeah,
I
sure.
can believe it, it shouldn't.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. This feels a whole lot lighter, and it's a lot more bearable and tolerable. Back there was just awful and felt very heavy. Yep. Who's Margaret, or female with the M-A-R to the beginning of her name?
Mm-hmm.
Who is that?
Mary.
Mary, who is Mary?
Mary was,
Would she have been down here cooking?
could have been, yeah.
Yeah,
very
Mary,
well.
okay. And is there a Margaret also, to your knowledge?
I off the top of my head.
Okay, but there is definitely the Mary, the M-A-R. Mhm.
Yeah.
Caldwell? Or Coldwell? Is that ringing any bells, Bruce? Does that sound familiar?
I know that name, but there could be many Coldwells. I mean, we're not in a location that the name I'm familiar with is not here.
Okay,
Yeah.
would that be something you'd be able to look into?
I'm gonna.
Okay,
That's-
great, thank you. Okay. No, I don't think I'm getting anything else in here. So, Tim, you're probably getting cramped from having to suit because you're tallest, so.
Got a hole here, I can
You had a
stick my
hole
head through.
there. Okay. I'm not picking up anything else in here, I don't think. But it feels a lot lighter, which is a relief.